Okay, we need to solve this problem and write the answer in interval notation. So when we're trying to solve an absolute value inequality, the first thing we want to do is we want to isolate this absolute value part. Okay, so we're just going to treat that almost like an x and get rid of the 3 and the -8. Let's start with the -8. We will add the 8 to both sides. So that cancels. I'm left with 3 times the absolute value of 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 27. Next, we need to get rid of the 3. So because it's multiplied out front, we can just divide it, and that's what we're going to do. Divide both sides by 3. So I get absolute value of 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 27 divided by 3, which is 9. Okay, now the absolute value is isolated, and so now at this point is where we're going to break it up. Because remember, with absolute values, we're looking at the distance from 0, so we have to consider something that's 9 away from 0, but also -9, because that distance is 9 in both cases. Okay, so absolute value, you have to consider the negative and the positive. Now the way that I remember it, if it's greater than, if this sign says greater than, I think great or, which reminds me that's going to be an or inequality. Since it's less than, it's going to be a an and inequality. Okay, so greater, I think great or, less than, it'll be and. So what we'll do is say, okay, 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 9, so write 1 as is, and keep 2x plus 5, but now we flip the sign, is greater than or equal to -9. Okay, so make sure when you have an absolute value inequality that you're setting it up. Now you'll always, whether it's and or, you'll always do the same thing where you write the same expression that was inside the absolute value, flip the inequality sign, and make the positive number negative or vice versa. Okay, and now we just solve each of them. So we minus 5 from each, and I get too tempted just to minus all the way across. So we'll minus 5, that first one we get 2x, 9 minus 5 is 4, divide by 2 on each side, so x is less than or equal to 2. And solve this one, 2x plus 5, we minus that 5, so we get 2x is greater than or equal to -9 minus 5, which is -14, divide by 2 on each side. Now again, we're dividing by a positive number, so we do not need to flip that inequality sign, only if we're dividing by a negative. So we get x is greater than or equal to -14 divided by 2, which is -7. So that is our answer as far as the inequality is being solved. But notice it says write your answer in interval notation. So if it's easier for you, if you have a hard time with interval notation, I would recommend adding one more step and graphing it. So we've got -7, we've got 2 about right here, so we're less than or equal to 2, which means close circle at 2, and we're smaller than 2. Okay. Greater than or equal to -7, so a close circle at -7, we're greater than or equal to. Now, because it's an and, the solution exists where both lines cross. So this line's going on forever, that line, so the solution exists in this area, the area that both lines exist. So it starts at -7, it's a bracket because it includes -7, and it goes up to 2 with a bracket. So that would be our interval notation for this problem.